Hello, I'm Cressida Cowell. I am the author and the illustrator of How to Train Your Dragon books and the Wizards of Once series, and I'm also the current UK's Children's Laureate. I'm very excited to welcome you to Cressida's Creativity Summer Camp. You guys have all been working very hard, haven't you, homeschooling and since March under lockdown. But this summer camp is all about writing and reading and creating for the joy of it. I want to get you guys reading for fun. I want to get you guys writing for fun. I want to get you guys drawing your own comic strips and creating your imaginary characters and building worlds around them. And so I've got so many great people, so many inspiring people to come and talk to you about what gave them their ideas. I want to celebrate, the amazing talent of authors and illustrators and poets and creators, not just here, but also all around the world. So I've got some amazing people talking to you. Today is Reading Aloud Day, and I'm really excited today because I'm joined by some laureates. I'm the laureate, as I say, the UK, from around the world, and we're all going to be reading aloud. And all the website, the videos will be up on the website, by the way, and don't worry if you miss a day, or they're going to stay on the website, so you can look at them another time. Anyway, so I'm going to be joined by today, I've got some such great people. I've got Jason Reynolds, who's the laureate in the US. I've got Eloise Williams, who's the laureate for Wales. I've got Anya Niglin, who's from Ireland. I've got Ursula Dubasarski, who's from Australia, and I've got Manon Sikel, who's from the Netherlands, the UK, the laureate for the Netherlands. So all of these laureates from all around the world, we're all going to be reading aloud. I think that's lovely, particularly in this time, that we're all joining together to read aloud, because we're all better working together. And so this is going to be such a great day. I love reading aloud because, and I love listening to books being read aloud. Even now, I love an audio tape in the car or something like that. There's something very comforting about being read aloud to. And I think also it's very important for getting kids reading for the joy of it, because kids are often very intelligent, highly intelligent, and they're cleverer often than their reading ability allows them to access. So sometimes a kid can learn to read really very quickly, but other times, it might be harder for them to learn, and therefore the books they can actually read are not as smart as they are. So reading aloud, I always say to adults, read aloud with your kid 10 minutes a day if you've got time. I'm a parent myself, so I know life can get busy, but 10 minutes a day reading aloud to a kid, even if they can read for themselves, has such an effect. And I remember every single book that a parent, an adult, a teacher, a librarian read aloud to me. Books read to you in your parents' voice live with you all your life. I always say that. So I'm thrilled to be reading aloud, and I'm very lucky to get all my books, by the way, read aloud on audio by David Tennant. I just say that because he's a complete genius. He's totally genius, and he reads Wizards of Once and How to Train Your Dragon all aloud. But what I've done for lockdown actually is I'm reading, the publishers have very kindly let me, for this special period, to be reading aloud a chapter a day of How to Train Your Dragon. And you can watch that, on the Book Trust website, and also on my YouTube channel. If you go to Cressida Cowell, there's all the readings of How to Train Your Dragon. I'm now up to book 5, How to Twist a Dragon's Tail. I don't know how far I'm going to go, but as long as lockdown allows me. But I thought it was nice to have something special for this time. Now, for Reading Aloud Day, I'm going to be reading aloud something very special, which is from my new book. This is a book series I'm writing called Wizards Once here. And I've been writing them all here, and actually I just finished the book. I can probably show you. Look, these are some of the illustrations back here from this is my new book, Wizards of Once, Never Forever, just to get you in the mood before I read aloud. Yeah, look, there's an illustration of the giant in the books. These books are about magic, and they're set about 3,000 years ago, at the end of the Bronze Ages, beginning of the Iron Ages, where magic really existed. It did. You know, how do you know it didn't? Because you've never been to the Bronze Ages, have you? No. So, in my books, magic really exists. And the two children, so there were giants and sprites, and the world is full of these, amazing magical skills that you can have. And my two heroes are from opposite tribes. I'll show you a picture of them. Okay, so this is that's Tsar, and he's a wizard who has no magic, and he would do anything to get it. And that is Wish, and she's a warrior, and she has a magical secret. And these two children, the wizards and warriors, are from two different tribes who are fighting each other to the death in the wild woods. So they've been brought up to hate each other like poison. But the two children have to work together to fight these people called the witches, who are really bad in these books. And it's about the two children seeing each other from each other's point of view. And I just thought that it would be lovely for you to hear the reading from the last in the series, because that hasn't even been published yet. This hasn't even really been published yet, and I thought the theme was very nice for when we're doing these readings from around the world, because the two children have to work together, as I say, to defeat the witches. And at the moment they're looking for a spell that gets rid of witches, and unfortunately they've had to go down to the bottom of this mine called the Mine of Happiness, and it's not very happy at all. It's called the Mine of Happiness, but actually it's not very happy down there at all. And this is my idea of an absolute nightmare, being down at the bottom of a mine. And so when we meet them, they are down at the bottom of this mine, and can you see they're crawling? That is Tsar, he's the wizard boy, and that is Wish, and she's the warrior girl. And they're looking for an ingredient in the spell to get rid of witches. And it's got very serious, because Tsar has this witch stain now on his hand that is taking him to the dark side. So they have to find this spell very urgently. But this is the moment when they realise they've been going in the wrong direction, because there's this magical spelling book in the books that can fly through the air, but Tsar has been holding this spelling book in the wrong hand. So they've been going in the wrong direction. And this is the moment when they realise, there they are. They look in the spelling book and they discover, oh my goodness, they've been going in the wrong direction. Uh-oh. So, just as he suspected, when the spelling book was in his other hand, the one without the witch stain, the directions on the map of the Mines of the Happiness changed in front of their eyes. Now the little images of themselves were crawling in entirely the wrong direction, away from the place they were supposed to be going, and the crude cartoons of Wish, Tsar and Boghem were no longer looking happy, but extremely frightened and anxious. The blinking on and off of the trail they were making had a desperate urgency to it, and there was even an extra warning signal added just behind them. And Bodkin is Wish's bodyguard, by the way. That's Bodkin. There's a bit of a disadvantage as a bodyguard, by the way, because he keeps on fainting in situations of danger, which is obviously not a very helpful helpful thing in a bodyguard. Anyway, he reads the signal out for them. Beware of the tatzelworm. Oh, for mistletoe's sake. Bodkin grabbed the spelling book out of Tsar's hands to make sure. There it was, clearly marked. Beware of the tatzelworm. Why did we let Tsar do the map reading? Wailed Bodkin. We're trying to make him feel better, whimpered Wish. But there was no time for a recrimination. What's that funny smell? Hissed Tiffenstorm. Now, Tiffenstorm is one of Tsar's sprites. He's so lucky, Tsar. He's got all of these sprites. Sprites like these ones. Oh, look at him. Look at these sprites. He's so lucky. He's got all these sort of sprites like this one, Ariel. And this is my favourite sprite. That's my favourite sprite. That's Squeeze Juice. And he's a bit like a sort of funny little insect. But he's so tiny. He can fit on the end of your finger. Oh my goodness. I would love to live back in those times. Yes. What's that funny smell? Imagine owning your own sprites and your own giant, which Tsar does as well. And also, they get to do all these amazing things, like they get to have all these magical powers and moving things. I really wish I was there. Not actually in the Mines of Happiness, maybe, but her little heart was lit up with such anxiety that you could see it glowing with fear in her little matchstick of a chest. A stink so noxious it made Wish's stomach heave came reeking and oiling out of the tunnel behind them. Oh, this is my idea of a nightmare. It was accompanied by a scream so loud and piercing in that narrow place that it pricked the eardrums like the stiletto of a knife. A scream of small animals dying. And the sound of that scream sent the poor sprites crazy with fear. And they added to that scream themselves, scrambling away down their tunnels, ignoring Wish, shouting, "Come back! Come back!" And in the tunnel behind them, two glowing eyes appeared. The tatzelworm, part cat, part dragon, heart of darkness. They could hear the scrape of its claws on the tunnel floor, the long, languorous flop of an impossibly huge serpentine body whirling its way through the passages. "Crawl!" yelled Wish, scuttling away on her hands and knees, going first down the tunnel, and Bodkin followed with Tsar crying after them, "No, cries, no, don't run away, we have to face it." "We're not running, we're crawling," panted Bodkin rather hysterically to himself, so frantic with fear that he did not notice the passages he was crawling down with Wish were getting narrower and narrower. And he had to crouch lower and lower until finally he was squirming on his tummy through the dirt, and the ceiling was pressing down on him, and oh my goodness, he could squirm no further. He was stuck. He tried desperately to wriggle forward, to wriggle backward. No, he was jammed tight like a cork in a bottle. Wish was smaller and even skinnier than Bodkin was, so she had got through this particularly narrow bit, and she was hauling on Bodkin's arm as hard as she could, and every little sprite was joining in as well, heaving away as hard as they could. Even Caliban took hold of Bodkin's sleeve and his beak and gave a really strong tug. But it was no good, but Bodkin would not budge. Now Bodkin really did panic. At his back legs, Tsar was panicking too, trying to thrust him forward. "Move!" screamed Tsar, but Bodkin could not move, which left Tsar having to face what was coming down the passage toward them, whether he wanted to or not. That's them trying to budge Bodkin. And oh my goodness, look, the spoon, that's Wish's enchanted spoon. She has this spoon that just happens to be alive. And they're happy to face that. The dreadful smell was now so sickly near that Tsar had to put his hand over his face to defend his nostrils from the ghastly poison of it. There was a horrible pause, and then with startling suddenness, a great clawed hand came shooting out of the darkness and trapped Tsar beneath it. That's the first chapter. Okay, so you're the first children in the world to really hear this, because this is a new book that isn't published till September. Anyway. So, thank you so much for watching, and please do go and listen to all the other laureates giving their readings, and maybe ask the adult in your life, please will you read to me, or listen to audiobooks together. Reading aloud is a great way to enjoy books and to spread the magic of books and reading. Thank you. If you're a child, why not try and get your adult in your life, I don't know, parent, teacher, librarian, whoever, to read to you. Just 10 minutes a day. Just say please, really, or listen to audiobooks together. If you're an adult, books read to you in your parents' voice really do live with you all your life. And a book that makes your dad, if you're reading something with your kid and it makes your dad laugh or your mum cry, it sends a really important message to the kid, which is that books are important. They are powerful, magical things. They have the power to make your mum laugh or your dad cry. So, reading aloud. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't go and listen to all the other laureates from all around the world in the Laureate Readathon. And if you'd like to share your favourite book to read aloud, do share it with this hashtag. Look, there's the hashtag. The hashtag is Cressida Summer Camp. Tell us your favourite reading aloud books. Thank you very much.